lot of new crystal balls. This will be a good conversation for us. But from on three, let's talk about that. Xavier Filsaime, who's a safety from Texas, I think is how you pronounce his name, really trending highly to the Gators right now, highly ranked 4-star. I think he's a 5-star on 247 right now.
Yeah.
That looks to be more of a matter of time and when, not if that's going to happen. Jake,
I think he'll be back for the spring game. Don't hold me to that. We haven't gotten a list for that yet, but I think he'll be back for the spring game
for sure. Big time safety. That'll be a huge get out of Texas, originally from Florida. So he's making his way back, be closer to home, to family, and all of that. Just a huge get. We'll see if it happens, but I like that we're in the neighborhood of getting guys like that. I don't remember the last time. This is the best safety since who? Matt Elam?
I guess Kamari Wilson.
Kamari Wilson's really highly rated.
But in terms of his body, in terms of his where he's at
Kamari's
now.
up there. Kamari, depending on which service, he lost his 5-star, was a 5-star when we got him. So very similar, but you gotta like stock. We were just talking about Georgia when a 5-star steps off the field, another one's coming on the field. So if you got Kamari Wilson, then you're bringing in, and I like the class last year, regardless of the stock, the recruiting stars, with Castell and those guys. We brought in some very Thornton. We brought in some very capable safeties that I'm high on, but bringing in a guy like Filsaime will definitely just solidify that room a lot more, man. We'll see where we at with it, but he's definitely going to be a bona fide 5-star. You got the quality of that class too for 2024 so far is very elite, man. Top notch shit.
Yeah, ranked number 4 on 3 right now.
And a real quick sidebar. I don't know if these are numbers that the guys wanted, but they're trying my guys. Jordan Castell, I think he wore 14, but 14 for Jordan Castell and 18 for Bryce Thornton looks kind of crazy back there.
Don't like the number 14 at safety.
They got to earn it, man.
When I go over and I watch the safeties working, I'm like, man, looks like you got 2 quarterbacks, but number-wise, playing back there, don't like it.
Could have got 35.
You got to give him a 43 like they gave Ahmad. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Ahmad got that was that Urban was giving guys, bro. Ahmad turned out to be a legend when they gave him 43 or something egregious. He's like, I got to get better. I can't even send pictures to the family with this 43 on. They're going to think I'm a fullback.
Listen, if you're taking pictures, practice, shoulder pads up. We don't need the number in the picture at all. 43. Yeah, man. That's maybe 18's a message. Hey, man, here's 18. What the hell is this?
Go earn a single digit. That's all it is, baby.
Go earn.
14 and 18 are looking wild in the secondary.
For now. There'll be some numbers that open up soon.
For now.
I
think so.
I tell you what, man, I wouldn't mind. No, I'm not gonna. I'll save that take.
You just say it. This is Take Central. No better time than 10:50 a.m. on April 3rd.
Water's on the pot. The take is heating up. Is it ready to be served yet?
I'm gonna save it.
Okay. Yeah. Water hasn't started boiling yet on the take.
Yeah. You know, all this is on record, so I don't like to just say wild things, man. So I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, who knows? We might clip it for a short. Let's see. Gators are also trending for Jake. Guarnera is interior offensive lineman out of Ponte Vedra. He leads on the RPM, the recruiting prediction machine for On 3. Has visited, I think he was on campus maybe twice this past week, definitely at least once. Florida's leading for him. I think that's a matter of when, not if. The Gators are also going back and forth with Miami on Kensley Faustin, who is a safety from Naples. I know the Gators are also going after Jarvis Boatwright for that position. And right now the Gators also lead for 4-star running back Kanan Daniels. He's between Mississippi and Florida right now. Blake Alderman on our 247 has submitted 3 crystal balls. One was for Xavier Filsaime. The other was for 4-star athlete Mario Craver, who's 5'9", I think about 155 pounds, but an athlete, probably a slot guy, maybe a guy that returns some kicks and punts. But Florida is got a crystal ball from him. And then finally, we talked a little bit about this, and then we'll go through the whole list of visitors. But Austin Simmons, 4-star, 5-star quarterback from the class of 2025, is trending to Florida. But the interesting thing is he might not be in the class of 2025, and he might not be in the class of 2024. There are some rumors that he might be in the class of 2023. Now, he is a year older, so he would be 17 when he enrolled, but there is a chance that Austin Simmons could be joining the University of Florida this offseason.
Real quick on that receiver board as well. You mentioned Craver. Do like him. Top-notch speed, from a hot Georgia. Like Georgia got some. I love Georgia prospects, bro. Just to be real with you. Like overall, I think Georgia is probably my favorite state to get recruits out of, just to keep it a bean. Florida, we just got to get better with our coaching and development and stuff. But that wide receiver board is going to be interesting to see how, because we getting some high attention from some big name guys, of course, because people want to play with Derek Lagway. So I want to see how it all pans out and who they take this early, because it's still fairly early. And I know we after some 5-star caliber day one difference makers at wide receiver. So that's going to be interesting. Like Austin Simmons, they call him Muck Vic, like him a lot. We'll see how that all pans out with him coming in a little early. But look at that speed. It's hard to say no to that speed, brother.
Yeah.
Woo! That's
5'9", 152 pounds.
That looks like Chris Rainey, Jeff Demp's speed right there, bro.
Jeez.
Get it. Look at that. Look at that separation.
And these are some athletes that he's playing against too.
You see that separation
there, though?
I don't care if you got Graham Mertz's arm, you got Anthony Richardson's
arm. My gosh, you have given up.
What?
You've given up the propaganda.
What propaganda?
You said I don't care if you have Graham Mertz's arm.
Yeah, it goes back to like what I was saying. Like the receivers got to make Graham Mertz better. Like separation is what makes them better. Like the guys like Frazier that may enter the portal, they're big body receivers that you're throwing jump balls to, and they don't really separate from defensive backs. We need the guys like the Mazzels, the Andy Jeans, the route technicians, the Eugene Wilsons that are explosive to separate from DBs to make these throws easier. So Graham Mertz ain't got to put it on a rope to get it there, because he don't have a rope to put it on. This is keep it a beam. So
appreciate you keeping it a bean. That's Mario Craver. We'll pull up some other athletes here in a second. Do want to again mention, we talked about it on the last show, 2024 athlete Josiah Davis from Nashville, Georgia, and Berrien High School did announce his commitment shortly after our show on last Monday. A 3-star guy on 3 and 247, unranked by Rivals, also unranked by ESPN, but not something that we take into a lot of consideration. 6'1", 185 pounds, guy that is probably being projected at the safety position. Could be a guy that's heavily involved in special teams. Has the size, has some speed. We had some questions about talent. And I know there's some comments on YouTube and on Twitter last week as well. And nothing we said was demeaning of him or his potential, just an overall look at the caliber of talent that he's playing, which is obviously something that you always need to evaluate. But I do see
Will Greer
raise up the. Say what?
Will Greer played the worst high school competition I'd ever seen to that point. It doesn't matter. You play who you play. You go to school where you go to school. Not every kid's picking where they're going to high school based on what the football team is doing. It's just the closest school to them. So it's nothing against him. I was just looking at some of the kids he was playing. I'm like, looks like he's playing against JV kids. They're small.
It's fair. It's fair, man. Locally, I remember Kyrie Elam playing locally here at Benjamin. The talent was small, so there's a lot of people locally asking about how good is he, because he's playing low caliber kids. Same thing with Kevin Taylor playing at Glazed Day. They played a lot of 1A programs, small programs. He broke state records, so people was questioning how good is the competition, because it matters. So we're talking about a competitive sport, and when you analyzing and making judgments, you got to consider the competition. That's just what it is.
Yeah. No, we're super excited about him joining the staff, and the staff has obviously seen a lot more film and tape and talked to a lot more people than us to accept that commitment. And certainly he is welcome. The Gators sit right now with 5 commitments, number 4 overall on the On3 class of 2024 rankings.
If they do, like, I want to just expound on that take. I'm not mad at the take. We talked about his 100-yard dash. Ideally, I know this staff put speed as a high priority. Verified speed, as they would say, is a high priority. His 100-meter was over 11. That doesn't mean he's a bad safety. Speed isn't only measurable at safety. So when you look at the stats, he's very productive. He scores a lot of touchdowns. He's all over the film. He's very physical. He runs the alley. He looks like a safety. They seen him in person. They evaluated. I'm not going to question Corey Raymond's takes. You know, Corey Raymond's the GOAT at DB. So whoever he wants, I like it. But we have a podcast, and we got to just have content and be unbiased a little bit about.
Yeah, we can't always be sunshine pumpers because we get called that a lot too. Let's run through.
Yeah, I'm tired of being called a sunshine pumper.
I'm pumping sunshine.
It's under my neck. It's under my skin.
Yeah. I mean, that's your negative Nick for a reason.
I pump sunshine all day. I wake up with sunshine loaded, baby.
Sunshine, rainbows, and roses.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go through some visits right now. I do want to mention there's 5 names that are so far connected. There's obviously going to be a lot more to Friday Night not Friday Night Lights, the Orange and Blue debut, which is next Thursday, April 13th. Colin Simmons, number 3 overall player, is slated to come. He's a 5-star plus on 3, which means that he's ranked 5-star by I think all of the services. Xavier Filsaime will be here. That could be a commit watch. Willis McGahee the 4th from Christopher Columbus High School, 3-star, obviously the son of Willis McGahee, former NFL running back. Alex Foster, who is an unranked edge right now, 6'5", 250 out of Greenville, Mississippi, and Tyler Wesley out of also Greenville, Mississippi, an unranked edge rusher. This week, Terrence Moore, 6'4", 190-pound wide receiver out of the 813 and Tampa Catholic, ranked as the number 33 overall wide receiver, supposed to visit on April the 6th. This past weekend, the Gators hosted 4-star Camarion Franklin from Mississippi, edge rusher, 6'5", 260. They hosted linebacker Cam Pruitt, 4-star, out of Theodore, Alabama. Jaden Jackson from IMG Academy, 3-star, number 52 overall defensive lineman in the country, 6'2", 300 pounds. I know he said his visit went very well. Penn State looks to be leading for him right now, but Florida not too far behind. Joseph Ionata, who I know has been connected to Miami for quite some time, interior offensive lineman, 3-star, 6'4", 260 pounds. Always got to wonder who that next commit for Miami is going to be beyond that kicker, but Florida's in a battle for him. Chris Jones, 4-star linebacker, 6'2", 215 pounds, and Jake Guarnera, I think Guarnera. Yeah, I think it got to be it. 6'4", 280, 3-star. Florida leads in the RPM for him. On Thursday, Eddie Pierre-Louis, 4-star interior offensive lineman and brother of Richard Garage, was on campus. Micah Danzy, 4-star athlete out of Florida State University School, was also on campus. Joining him was Chasen Clark from Stark, Florida, linebacker, unranked. Jacob Good from Fairburn, Georgia. Malik Kesley was on campus, running back, 5'11", 190 pounds. Jeremy Bell, wide receiver, 6'1", 175 pounds. Jordan Seaton from St. John's in Washington, D.C., interior offensive lineman, 6'5", 295, was on campus. He's trending heavily for Ohio State, but great to get him on campus. Zac Mincey, safety from Mainland High School in Daytona Beach, ranked as the number 155th overall best player. Jake Guarnera was on campus again on Tuesday. Marcus Maskall, an unranked offensive tackle. And then I think we talked about the other visitors from last week. So those are all of the folks that were on campus just this week. Florida in the RPM, if you look at that, leads for Jake Guarnera, Zac Mincey, Eddie Pierre-Louis, and then in the hunt for a lot of these other guys. So that's a bit of a recruiting update, boys, but a lot of names, but give me your thoughts.
I wish we was in it more for Richard Garage's little brother. I know he came to visit. It was a pro day for Richard Garage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's a very good interior offensive lineman. I know we're recruiting him, but it doesn't sound like we're high on his list. He got some great offers. The campus is busy. Safety room recruiting is we have some good problems at safety with the safety board. That's why I'm not even mad at the take that we just took at safety, because I know it wasn't a reach, because Corey Raymond got some elite options. So he didn't take that kid because we were desperate. He took him because he liked him. You could tell from the recruiting. But I love the action, love the visits. April should be huge for the Florida Gators when it pertains to recruiting. We should get a couple commits at least, and the visits and everything. From April on the way to July, it's like commit season. It's popping up until fall. Then it slows down during the camp. I'm sorry, during the season, and then it picks back up early signing day. But commit season is amongst us.
Let's see here. There's a comment from Earl Sykes that said, I wish we wouldn't compare Florida to Bama and Georgia. If we can get back to being Florida, that's all we need. That's in theory.
Leave the SEC then.
In theory, that's you want Florida to be Florida, but right now what Florida is back-to-back losing seasons. Florida has not won an SEC championship since 2008. They've not won a national title since the 2008 season. And during that time, you've seen Alabama win multiple. You've seen Georgia win back-to-back. You've seen LSU win. You've seen a lot of teams kind of supplant where Florida was there in the 90s and 2000s. Not saying that Florida needs to build the exact same way that Alabama and Georgia did, and they can put their own spin on it. Billy Napier and his staff are going to do that. But at the end of the day, those are the teams that are winning national championships, and that's what Florida Gator fans want. So,
yeah, if you want to get back to being to Florida, you need to start winning like Georgia and Alabama are winning. If you want us to compare Florida to Vanderbilt and Missouri, we can try to find some connections there, but I don't think that's what you want.
Nick. Relax. I do. You gotta acquire the talent. The reason I bring up Bama and Georgia because they're good because of the talent they acquired through recruiting. And we have to like just make those comparisons. And I think Billy's doing a good job as far as quality too, because like once you keep piling these years of recruiting of quality players, that makes quality depth. That's make very, very good depth, even though you're not top 5, top 3 in recruiting. If your average is 90 and all those high ratings for these players, and your depth chart is full of those type of guys, the quality, and you close the gap. But we got to make the comparisons because if you want to get to the top, bro, you got to knock the top dog off the top, man. Top dog is getting elite kids at every position annually, and there's an investment from that side too. Like Bama is loud in every sport. Like we watched them play basketball this year. There's a investment from their sports program that they want to be good in absolutely everything. And Florida was like that at one point. I think we still call ourselves an everything school, but we're not good right now in everything. So we just got to get back good at everything, bro.
They also took the athletic director Florida wanted.
You feel me?
Anyway, let's see.
Burn.
Jeremy Carpenter, Florida needs to get back to playing Florida ball. We need an identity like Spurrier ball. We don't have an identity. The identity this year is run the damn ball a lot. Run it even more than last year.
Shirts available.
Shirts available. Stadiumandgale.com/shop. There it is for you.
Shirts available. Run the damn ball.
Available. Run the damn ball.
You know who's going to bring the identity? DJ Lagway.
Hey, listen.
That's the identity of Billy Napier with his future, his career. I think is hinged on just DJ Lagway, his career at Florida, all of that. You'll see exactly how this offense is supposed to be ran, the style of it, who we're going to be, if we're going to be a run team, all of that. When DJ Lagway get here, we just got to tread water, get a winning record. None of that. We're not giving them an escape route and an exit until DJ Lagway gets here. But if I'm just being honest, we got to just stay afloat, keep recruiting the way we're recruiting. When that kid gets on campus, you should have the talent, as you can see how we're recruiting the last two cycles. He'll have the players around him to be able to make a run.
Yeah, and continue to hit in the transfer portal.
Right.
Continue to recruit well. Keep your best recruiters and continue to elevate your coaching staff.
That ain't gonna help you find identity. That's what I'm saying. Identity, like that's gonna come from like your guys you're bringing in. I don't think you really get your identity through the portal either. I think we got to build that identity through the players he's bringing in, the culture, and then we'll see his style of play calling, because Anthony Richardson wasn't his quarterback, and a lot of Anthony Richardson's skills weren't suited for his play calling. So we'll get to see what the identity of Billy Napier's offense with his quarterback, his players. I think once DJ Lagway, because the quarterbacks we got this year is Graham Mertz and Jack Miller. Those aren't his guys. Those are stopgap guys. So when his guys is the signal caller at quarterback, we'll see what this is supposed to look like.
Yeah, Florida struggled recruiting quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson, obviously, he's going to go very highly in the NFL draft, but has really struggled since Will Grier, right? In terms of getting a top-notch quarterback. They tried with Felipe Franks. Obviously, Kyle Trask had a great season, kind of underrated guy. Had a lot of years under his belt. Florida's going to need somebody. It's probably not going to be Graham Mertz. It can't be. I mean, so it's a one-year thing. Jack Miller doesn't have a ton of time. Max Brown was a pull from Jim McElwain in Central Michigan. Florida didn't get a quarterback last year.
I ain't questioning Mac evals, though. I tell you that. I did one time. I questioned McElwain's evals, and I was wrong.
Who is the question?
Killer Kyle and the Killettes. Shout out to Kyle Trask.
And the Killettes.
I got to find the tweets where you and I, Silk, were going back and forth when we were talking about Kyle Trask and who would have a better career.
That's been wiped from the internet.
Yeah. I'll see if my plug at Twitter can recover those. So they're stored somewhere. But DJ Lagway, you potentially get Simmons to come in early. The expectation certainly wouldn't be for him next season. You have a Austin Simmons, DJ Lagway battle. Certainly could hopefully make each other better. But Florida's in a tough position right now. Very tough position at quarterback and for finding an identity. So until then, our identity is run the damn ball. All right. Getting towards the end of the show. Oh, one more final name. Jason Zandamela, offensive lineman, Under Armour All-American from Clearwater, recently offered by the Gators.